I think that the running joke in the cheese industry is that if we wanted to make a lot of money, we wouldn't be working in cheese.
Okay, so I have some like pre-cut pieces. What size was my favorite?
It's a perishable product. It has really low margins. It is expensive to make. So I think that the first year of business ownership has been kind of hard in that way, where it's been a little bit lonely because I'm down here by myself and there's not a lot of business owners that I know, especially in the cheese industry, who are like my age and also single. But I think it's also just finding ways to just get through it and to also know that these early days of business ownership are such a precious time. And it's a time that I don't think would even be possible to repeat again in my life. It was 80 pounds of butter. My name is Caroline Hesse. I'm 32 years old, and I sold about $400,000 worth of cheese in 2023. I have loved cheese since as long as I can remember. When I was a little girl, I grew up across the street from a cheesemonger at a shop that I actually sell to now as a business owner, which is a nice kind of full circle thing. A cheesemonger is somebody that sells cheese, traditionally at a cheese shop. So since I'm not at a shop, I refer to myself as a wholesale cheesemonger. I see you. I brought your delivery for this week.
Thank you.
I did a cheese apprenticeship, kind of my first official job in the cheese industry in 2014 at a small raw cow's milk dairy farm in the Berkshires of Massachusetts. And I have to say, I was supposed to be there for a year. I was only there for about 6 weeks because I really learned that I am not a farmer. That's a whole different skill set that I just don't have. Crown Finish Caves was this big underground kind of cheese aging, what's called affinage. I was really enamored with the idea of starting my own business. I figured that if the cheesemakers want to sell cheese to me and there are people that want to buy it from me, that's a business. Right after I started announcing to people that I was starting my own business, I was like, oh, I need to come up with a lot of money now. And I remember advice that my mother told me. She was like, there's so much money out there in the world and you just have to find a way to get like a little bit of it. Absolutely beautiful. The day after I went live with the campaign, I woke up to a bunch of texts from my friend that was like, hey, congratulations on the shout out. I'm so happy for you, this rocks. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And it turns out that Eater just picked up the story and they mentioned my Kickstarter and I hadn't alerted them. I still don't know really how they had found out about it, but it was pretty, honestly, life-changing. Okay. At the end of the campaign, I had raised $54,000 in a little less than a month. Severance that I had gotten from Crown Finish, plus a credit card that I took out for the business. I kind of pooled all that money together and that helped kind of get the business started, move me into the space, and also keep me in my home that I still live in. Like perfect condition as always. So this like black part is vegetable ash. It's just a way to kind of manage pH while you're ripening. So a cheese will cost me anywhere between $8 a pound on like the lower end to $15, $16 a pound on the higher end. After I factor in how much the cheese costs and also how much freight costs, which is really expensive, I'll charge anywhere from like 11 and change a pound to sometimes like 23 a pound. On average, I'm making anywhere between $2 and $4 a pound on each piece of cheese. So it's not huge margins. My cheeses come from all over the world, from Switzerland, Italy, a few from Portugal, and those all come from importers who are bringing in, huge cargo ship containers. And then I'm also sourcing a lot of cheese from small American cheesemakers, Wisconsin, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, places like that. I'm really particular with what cheeses that I'll carry. It has to fit a criteria. So it has to be good, which is harder to do than you think. I also have to be able to sell it. So that means it needs to be marketable and it has to be able to get to me. A big barrier of entry for a lot of the creameries that I want to work with is that there's no way for them to get me product in a food safe way. That's also cost efficient. And it also can't compete with anything that's already in my catalog. The variety of cheeses I sell span anywhere from really aged Alpine-style cheeses that are 36 months old to really small little goat milk cheeses that are, 3 weeks old, buffalo milk cheeses from Italy, sheep milk cheeses from New York and Minnesota, butter from this great butter maker in Vermont. It runs the gamut. I try to make a catalog that doesn't have a lot of redundancies in it, so my cheesemakers don't compete with each other. For this first year of business, I haven't made a profit yet. But I also didn't hemorrhage money. That's a win in my book. But on average, a cheese business takes about 5 years to turn a profit. A typical week for me will probably be between 70 to 80 hours of work. Anything less than that at this point, I just don't feel like I've worked. Because I do work so much, I have a rule that I adopted pretty early, which was that I must have fun. Also have kind of a superstition because fat absorbs odor. I want to keep all the cheeses in the walk-in really nice and pristine. I worry that if I'm not having fun and if the atmosphere isn't lively, the cheese will kind of absorb that. For the open houses, I really like to have another cheesemonger with me, specifically a monger who maybe is in between jobs right now because it's just a fun day. It's different than working at a cheese shop. It's a little bit more of a party because there's music playing, there's wine being poured.
I probably overacted. Did I overact?
There's cheese everywhere. People usually come and they hang out for about 40 minutes. It's not just come in, shop, and get out of here.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. How are you doing?
Thank you.
So goals for the business, I did just hire an intern. I would love to be able to bring her on as a part-time employee. Oh, I want to start buying French cheeses. Those are kind of expensive because you have to buy a lot at a time, but I'd love to get a nice Comté. That seems doable. I am such a fan of the small goal because then when you reach the goal, you feel really good about yourself, then you get to set a new goal. It's the best. One thing that was really motivating when I was starting the business was the amount of people in the industry who have been at it a lot longer than I have, really take time to kind of share their knowledge with me and just kind of encourage me to do it because not a lot of young people are opening wholesale businesses like this. And they're pretty crucial for the vitality of our industry. I couldn't imagine my life any other way. This kind of flaked off if you want a little.